Driving on the wrong side of the road. This is a tourist navigating the road towards Milford Sound. Despite all the publicity and safety videos, clearly our driving rules are getting lost in translation. So what more can we do? Road safety campaigner Clive Matthew Wilson has an idea. He joins me now. Now Clive, first of all, what do you think when you see those images?
Well, like everybody else, I'm horrified, and I'm even more horrified by the results, because that's what we're talking about. And it is actually relatively simple to stop this happening. Number one, keep tired drivers off the road so they can't just come in from a flight, hop into a car and go out and kill someone. Number two, keep incompetent drivers off the road by making them sit a simple computerised test before they can rent a car. And number three, improve the roads so that simple mistakes don't turn into fatalities.
We have talked about this before. You think drivers are a ticking time bomb?
Well, absolutely, and they've been proven to be a ticking time bomb.
So as you've just mentioned, you've got those 7 steps that would include the cool down period and the competency test. Could you explain more about the test?
Yeah, sure. Basically, it's just a dot representing a car on a moving road screen. So it would be on an iPad or something like that at the rental place. Take less than 60 seconds. They follow the dot around a series of curves. If they go across the line while they're doing the test, it's a fail. And if they can't keep track of the dot itself, then in fact it's a fail and they can't rent the car. They can come back 24 hours later and do it again. It doesn't disqualify them forever. That test that you're looking at on TV at the moment was developed by London Transport in the 1930s and was so effective at weeding out incompetent drivers that it was still in use by the British Air Force in the early 20th century to weed out prospective fighter pilots. Now, we're not talking about making them resit their driver's license test, and I'm talking about something that applies to everybody, including Kiwis, so it doesn't breach the international treaty about driver's licenses. But the reason that it's not happening right now, let's be really, really clear about this, is because everybody in the tourism industry and the government knows that about 25% of drivers would fail it.
Now that test, is it still being used overseas for this kind of thing, for rental agencies and things like that?
They're not using it for rental agencies. I believe that the British Air Force is using computerised equivalent, and I have someone working on a computerised equivalent as we speak, because I've, like everyone else, I've just grown disgusted with the government, and let's just get on with Kiwi solutions.
And also, that would work for the start of the trip, obviously, you can see, but how do you see it playing out, or is there statistics that say it is at the start when I first give them the keys that is the issue? Well,
people are exhausted. You come in from a flight, you're exhausted. Now, most accidents actually occur towards the end of the trip, but one of the reasons is because they're carrying over the exhaustion from the first 24 hours. Now, I mean, surely every single doctor in the world says you don't just arrive in a new country and start driving. So the stand down period won't only help protect New Zealanders from immediate accidents, but actually will have a follow-on effect, and above all else, it'll make the tourist trip so much more pleasant because they've actually rested before they've rushed out to enjoy all the sights.
Have you had any traction on it?
Well, the government doesn't want to do anything at all that affects the tourism industry, and the fact that ordinary people's lives are getting, regularly taken in circumstances in which the New Zealand motorist is usually a completely innocent party, and the government just sees this as collateral damage to a very successful tourism industry. I'm disgusted, and I think a lot of people watching this are disgusted, but that's what it comes down to. It's money versus ordinary Kiwis.
All right, thank you very much for your time, Clive Matthews Wilson, Road Safety Campaigner. Thanks for coming in this morning.
And I know